Resuming where the previous video left off, I'm etching the knife in ferric chloride, then taking it over and sanding it with fine grit sandpaper, doing this repeatedly until I get a deep enough etch. To me, the etch qualifies as deep enough when I'm no longer sanding away the black oxides on the 1095 after the etch. Now that the etch is deep enough, I submerge the blade in high concentrated instant coffee. This makes the dark areas of the steel even darker. After it's set in the coffee for about 2 hours, I pulled it out and sanded it again with fine grit sandpaper. While doing this, I try to be far more selective than after the ferric chloride etches, sanding only areas that absolutely need to be sanded. At this point, the blade still has a few dark spots that look faded, but I'll come back to them later. For the guard of the blade, I melted copper and aluminum together, 10% aluminum and 90% copper, to make aluminum bronze. This is because aluminum bronze looks cool and has very good corrosion resistance. After casting the ingot, I cooled it down so I could look at it. Currently, this piece of metal can't be used for a guard, so I needed to forge it down into a more convenient shape. Before drilling holes in the guard, I ground its sides flat. An important part of fitting up a guard is layout. First I found the center, then I found the thickness and width of the tang of the knife, and transferred that onto the guard. With the layout done, I center punched the parts where I wanted to drill. Center punching vastly increases your accuracy while drilling. This is extremely necessary because a great deal of accuracy is needed to fit a guard properly. And now the filing begins. After each small amount of filing, I check the guard fit up to see how it's going. I didn't shape the guard before roughly fitting it to the knife. That way, I knew when I did shape it, I could make it square to the blade. Here, I'm filing a recess in the guard where the shoulders of the knife can sit once it's been fully fit up. For the handle, I chose a block of desert ironwood and started by cutting it out on the bandsaw. With that done, I marked out the tang and drilled holes in it. To shape the tang slot in the handle, I used a drill bit and a broach to open it up. Again, like the guard, after every little bit of wood was removed, I would test to see how it fit to the tang. To help the handle block fit up to the guard, I ground the top of it using the contact wheel on the grinder. To improve the fit up, I ground the bottom of the guard to match. The fit up wasn't even close, so I kept removing high spots from the guard until I got the fit up I wanted. Closer, but not quite. You can still see gaps. This was quite a bit closer. To help the fit up go quicker, I shaped the handle. Doing this removes spots where the wood is contacting the guard. Before fully shaping the handle, I bedded the tang. This is where a protective layer is coated around the tang of the knife. Then, the blade is epoxied to the handle, creating a perfect fit up when the blade is removed. With the tang bedded, I can shape the handle freely, knowing that whenever I put it back on the knife, it will always be in the same spot. Because I don't fully trust epoxy to keep the knife together, I drill a pinhole. Now that I'm done shaping both the guard and handle, I hand sand them to give them a better finish. Buffing the handle really brings out the figure in the desert ironwood. The blade got slightly scuffed while I was working on the guard, so I re-coffee etch it. The final fit up is here. All the components have been finished and just need to be assembled and epoxied together. Before the epoxy completely sets, I wipe it off with a paper towel. Then I ground off the extra length of pin that was still sticking out. And to finish out the pin, I hand sanded it and buffed it. The last steps are applying oil to the handle and sharpening the blade. To sharpen the blade, I used a fine grit belt to rough in the secondary bevel. Then used the backside of a similar belt with buffing compound on it to polish the edge. There you have it, the completed knife. If you want more videos, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want this knife, you can find a link to it in the description below. Thanks for watching.